This video is very special because I'm going to answer your questions. So I asked you on Instagram what type of things you wonder about English, and I collected the most frequently asked ones, and today I'm going to answer all of them. You will see all the questions that I'm going to answer in this video below, so if you want to skip to the certain question, you can do so. Okay, your first question is, how did you get so good at English? Okay guys, my story actually can surprise you because I started to study English when I was almost 15 years old, and I studied it intensively. Like, I was at high school and my department was English department. Every week I studied 13 hours, 13 lessons of English. But by the end of my high school, I couldn't speak a word. I swear, I couldn't speak a word because I was going to take an exam for university, and my all focus was to pass that exam. And that exam is just multiple choice questions. So I only studied to pass that exam, and I just read and I did questions, that's it. So imagine 4 years of intensive study and no speaking. And then I went to university. I went to English language teaching department, which sounds amazing. In the first year, I really struggled a lot. I actually failed English speaking exam. This really demotivated me. Now I realize I think I had type of trauma because I was so scared of going in front of people and speaking in English. So after I failed in that exam and the second year came, I was still not good. There were some presentations we had to do. For me, it was so freaking hard to go to the stage in front of the class and do a presentation in English. But what happened in the third year, I went abroad. When I went abroad, something has changed in me. That was my confidence. Actually, I became a more confident person after I went abroad. Because I went abroad, I was like 19, 20 years old, and I was very shy, I was scared, I was nervous. And when I went there, it made me experience difficult things. I left my comfort zone and I had to solve my problems in English. Suddenly, English wasn't a problem anymore for me because I was so focused on solving my problems, so forgot that I was speaking English. So after I went abroad, I lived there in Romania for 8 months, and then I came back to my country. I continued to study my degree and I graduated with a very good mark. So the point is actually not about going abroad. It's not about going abroad. My switch was about confidence. And when I felt confident, all the information, I feel all the knowledge came out. So of course, going abroad really helps. If you have a chance, go abroad. It really helps you to speak English and become more confident person. So this is my story. It's kind of sad to know that you studied so many years and you cannot speak a word. I know there are so many people like me, they just have the knowledge, they can't speak English. So this happens because we didn't take action, we didn't start to speak, and we feel shy, everything gets worse. So eventually, like, you can't make a word. Another question you asked, like, why I understand but I can't speak English. I'm going to answer that also in a while. So for now, this was my English learning journey. And please tell me about your journey. How is your journey going? Like, how was it and how is it now? Let me know. Your second question, Merve, what are a few good books to read when trying to learn English? Okay, I really like this question, and actually one of the switches that happened in my life in terms of English was about reading a book. First of all, I want to give you some tips about choosing a book because it's important. I'm going to give you examples. I'm going to give you some books names that I really love. But when it comes to choosing a book, guys, you need to choose a book that you are already familiar with. Like, imagine you are a fan of Harry Potter and you really love this book, and maybe you watched the movies, maybe you read the book in your native language, it's really good if you pick a book like this that you are already familiar with and you read it in English. Why do I say this? It's because that you already know and you feel confident, you love that story, right? You are familiar with the word, with the story. When you read these books in English, because you are already familiar with it, it won't be overwhelming for you to read this book in English. I think it's also important that choose like an exciting story, like you wonder what's gonna happen on the next page. Maybe love story, maybe like action book, maybe a murder or detective book. So these type of books, like you really wonder what's gonna happen, it makes you forget that you are reading in English. What we want is exactly that you forget that you are doing that action in English. So guys, it's so important. I really highly recommend you this. So about the books, I have 3 books. One of them is Harry Potter. I know there are lots of fans of this book and movie, so I really recommend you to read this book in English. It's really fun and amazing. Second one, I don't know if you've heard, Anne of Green Gables. On Netflix, the name of the TV series is Anne with an E. If you have a chance, you can find this book and you can read it. The best thing about this book, there are different levels of this book. Like you can find it, even if you are A2, you can find it in that level. B1, B2. It's an amazing book and it has lots of events and it has an amazing story. So it will be fun to read. The third one is The Giver. This one also is very popular. You can find it in many languages and you can watch the movie as well. So these are my suggestions. Remember, it should be something that you already like, or you watch the movie and you read the book in your language and then finally read it in English. You're gonna have fun, I'm sure. Okay, your next question is, what are some of the best English movies to watch? Okay guys, I love this question as well. So I'm gonna give you my favorite movies. And watching movies is really essential when it comes to learn English. And not just watching, but if possible, keep a notebook next to you and write some of the words or phrases that you like while you are watching the movie. This is very important. So if you want to improve your English, keep a notebook next to you. But when I say this, please don't be like crazy, taking all the notes, stopping, taking notes. What's this translation? No, we want you to enjoy the movie. Okay, so first thing first, enjoying is the most important. If you are like level A1 and A2, you can watch maybe with your native language subtitle. It's okay. Once you get used to the characters of the movie and once you feel comfortable, you can switch to English subtitles. So everything is in English and you try not to look at the subtitles, but just watch the movie, all right? So my favorite 3 movies are, the first one, very popular, The Pursuit of Happiness. Oh my God, I love this movie so much. It's not just in terms of English, but I also really like the message in it. If you don't know, if you didn't watch this movie, it's a real story. It's about a father and son. It's like how much passionate and how much hardworking the father is, and it really motivates you to do anything that you want to do. You can achieve anything because the guy is doing like everything in very difficult circumstances and he's doing an amazing job. So this movie, in terms of English and in terms of motivation, I am sure is going to be your favorite. And the next one is A Beautiful Mind. Oh my God, I love this one. It's also a real story because I really like real story actually. It really motivates me and it inspires me. So I hope you like it too. This is about the scientist actually. It's amazing. You should definitely watch it. The third one is Interstellar. Interstellar is an amazing movie. It's sci-fi. It's different than the other 2 suggestions. It has great English. So I'm sure these 3 movies, even if you watched before, you can again watch it. This is one of the things I used to do when I was learning and improving my English at the university. I was like rewatching my favorite TV series or movies. But to be honest, I am a TV series guy because I really like TV series, and I suggest you to watch TV series. You know why? Because when you watch TV series, you feel, because TV series has many episodes, right? So you feel connected with the characters, with their language, with the story, and it doesn't finish quickly. So meanwhile, you improve your English, you get used to them, you feel connection. It's just lovely. For example, one of the switch that happened in my English, it was when I was in Romania. I had a lot of free time and I watched Lost. After I finished Lost, oh my god, I felt like, because like it has so many seasons and it has so many episodes, I felt like I was exposed to English a lot. And suddenly, after I remember last episode, I felt suddenly my English knowledge and my confidence, my speaking skills became better, much better. So I suggest you, if you're a TV series guy, maybe you don't like Lost, but you can choose something on Netflix according to your style. What is important, it's like stories that you really wonder that what's gonna happen in the next episode, so you feel excited and you forget that you are actually doing something in English, okay? We don't want you to feel like you're studying English. All right, guys. So my next question is, your next question is, what are the coolest words in English language and what do they mean for you, of course? So guys, I really like this question and I thought about it a lot and I came up with 3 words, my favorite words. The first one is chic. Chic means cleverly stylish, fashionable, all right? And don't mispronounce it like chic, no, this is cheek. And chic we say to beautiful woman in a little bit slang language. So chic is fashionable and the pronunciation is chic, okay? For example, I like your chic hat, or Margaret was looking very chic in blue. It means Margaret looked amazing, fashionable, stylish in blue. Okay, my second favorite word is epiphany. I love this word. I don't know why. Epiphany. So I think because of the meaning, epiphany means the moment that you changed a lot and surprising moment of understanding. It's the moment you experience something, you realize something, and it's like the biggest moment for you, and from that moment on, you're a different person. Everyone's epiphany can be different moments. This is usually about like self-improvement, realization, all right? So that's why I really like this word, and it's usually used with the verb have. For example, I had my epiphany when I was 20 years old. All right, my third word is delighted. Delighted. I find this word very elegant somehow. Delighted means very pleased, okay? So instead of saying it's nice to meet you, you can say it's delighted to meet you. I don't know, you see, even when I say delighted, I feel my face is going to a beautiful shape. Delighted. Right? Do you agree with me? I don't know how you feel about delighted. Delighted. I'd be delighted if you came. Or I'm delighted that you're staying. So elegant word. Your next question is, what are some words that mean different things when British and American speakers say them? It's a big topic, but I'm going to tell you some of the interesting ones for me. Okay, first one is, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care in American English means I don't mind. No problem. Like, what would you like to eat tonight? I don't care. It's okay. Everything is okay. But in British English, it is like you don't take a moment to decide, and it's kind of rude. I don't care. Whatever we eat, it's kind of rude. Okay, it doesn't matter what you choose. So I don't care, if you say this to a British person, it might be offensive, okay? So instead of I don't care, you can say I don't mind in British English, all right? I think this is very interesting. Okay, another one, in American English, the first floor means the ground floor. But in British English, the first floor means the second floor. It's really interesting, you know, because the floor system can be confusing if you are looking for an address. So be careful if you're in America or in the United Kingdom or in others place. it can be in different meaning. Another interesting one, in British English, you know, what you put into your car to drive it is petrol. But in American English, it's gas. And the last one, the most surprising one, and it's funny, you know, rubber? If I say rubber, what do you think? What comes to your mind first? So rubber means eraser. But in American English, it also means condom. Yes, condom. So if you see that in a movie, or if someone asks you in somewhere, maybe like in the streets or in the bars, probably they don't mean an eraser, okay? Condom, it can mean condom. Okay, your next question is, I saw a sentence, I could murder a Chinese. What does this mean? This is very funny and I really love this question. Of course, we don't want to murder someone Chinese, but this sentence means here, like you want that so much. Okay, you really want Chinese food right there, right at that moment. You want to eat Chinese food. In those moments, we use I could murder and the food. For example, I could murder a cup of coffee, I could murder a burger, I could murder an Indian. Of course, the person you are saying this to, it should be familiar with the phrase, otherwise can you imagine? You say I could murder a Chinese and it will be very offensive, maybe funny. If it's good friend, you can laugh about it. But yeah, be careful. So synonyms of I could murder can be I could kill for. For example, I could kill for a burger, or I could give my right arm for a burger. Oh my God, imagine that I want burger so much that I would give you my right arm. Okay, these are some synonyms. They have the same meaning. You can use any of them. Okay, your next question is, what is your #1 tip to learn English? If you want to learn English, you have to meet people that speaks it. You have to get socialized. Because we are human, we are social people. You know that there are researches that someone is born and no one speaks to the baby and the baby dies. Like, this is a real study. So we need to talk, we need to meet people. We are social beings. That's why I suggest that you shouldn't stay alone in this journey. It is so important that you meet people like yourself, other English students. And actually, for that, I have an online English speaking club. In this club, we meet every week. It's online. Anyone can join. It's just you feel like English is not a lesson anymore. It's just like a fun activity. It's just a tool that brings joy together, that makes you sociable. Talk to people, get to know them. The moment that you start to believe English is not just a lesson or it's not an obligation, it's just fun, it makes you more sociable, it brings people, it makes you talk to other amazing people. It definitely becomes fun and not torture anymore. So I will leave all the details below so you can check that out. I understand English, but I can't speak. Why? I love this question because I know there are so many people like that, feeling like that. So guys, the reason of this is exactly my situation was. So there are 4 skills in English. Reading and listening, these are passive skills, and speaking and writing, these are active skills. The reason why you cannot speak English is because probably you spend so much time with passive skills. As much as you spend your time with passive skills, you will never be able to talk unless you focus on active skills. You look at my case, I studied for 4 years intensively, but I just focused on reading and listening. I couldn't speak a word. You are really losing time. You have to bring together, because when you write and when you speak, you actually produce. Your brain is producing. So you can only speak a language if you produce, all right? So keep this in mind. There are so many ways that you can practice your English. As I mentioned, I have an online English speaking club. There are so many others. If you cannot afford any of them, there are other skills that you can do in front of mirror. You can find yourself a friend that you can practice together. I'm sure you can manage a way. Okay, you ask me a lot this question. What is the difference between TOEFL and IELTS? Actually, there are some differences that you need to consider. So first of all, which accent of English do you feel more familiar with? Is it British English or American English? Because TOEFL is an American-based English and IELTS is British-based English. And the second most important is, of course, what is your goal? What are you going to do with this exam? Because there are some institutions, they just want IELTS exam and some TOEFL. So you need to check that out specifically, okay? IELTS is a paper-based exam, while TOEFL is computer-based exam. In IELTS, you go to the exam center in one day and you do reading, listening and writing exam in one day, and you go another day for speaking part, all right? And all this is by paper and pen. And TOEFL is you go one day, you do the reading and listening part, and then you give a break, and then you do the writing and speaking part. Speaking part in TOEFL is with the computer. So they ask you questions and you answer, it records your answer, and then they check and evaluate your score. But in IELTS, you speak with the real people, they ask you questions and you talk with them at that moment there. So think about yourself, like which one would you feel more comfortable with? Also, TOEFL is longer, like it's almost like 4 hours, while IELTS is like 2 hours and 45 minutes. And their score system is a little bit different. In IELTS, maximum score is 9, so it's 0 to 9. In TOEFL, it's 0 to 120. All right, so if you get like almost 100 in TOEFL and in like 7, 8 in IELTS, it's perfect. Okay, this was a quite summary for you, all the details you need to know in terms of IELTS and TOEFL. So check that out. What do you need? Which one would you be more comfortable with? I love this question. How can we stay motivated while learning English? I know language learning is a really overwhelming and it can be a very difficult process. It was for me. Look, I had a trauma because of English. It's really hard, but you need to remember that it's like a long journey and you need to enjoy the journey, of course. But the most important one, again, meeting with other people to realize that everyone is the same like you. They do mistakes and they also have hardship while learning English. So when you see people go through the same journey like you feel like better, you feel more normal, let's say. So try to find a community that you feel confident, that you feel friendship. If you can come to LM Club, I will be very happy to have you. I shared some of my members' videos, like how they feel after they joined LM Club, and watch those videos in my channel, you're gonna find them. So they all talk about the friendship and fun, enjoying. Like no one considers LM Club as a study group or like you're learning English. No, it's not. It's just a community that we share the experience, we share the journey. And trust me, when you feel this support, like nothing else matters really, because you feel that love and that support and you see everyone is just like you, it just means the world. This was the reason I opened LM Club actually, because I felt very alone when I was learning English, that felt demotivated so many times. So I really didn't want you to feel the same. Alright guys, I have more questions. I'm gonna answer them in another video. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know, show me some love if you found this video helpful, and let me know your English journey. I'm really curious. Please let me know how you learned English. How is it going? How is it now? Let me know. So lots of love. Take care. Bye.